Well, good morning, everybody, and welcome to this week's edition of Coffee Chat with me, Catherine Oster. Hello, how are you? So, I am a certified facilitator with Access Consciousness. Hey, good morning, Mom. And I facilitate access bars and foundation classes, and I've got a foundation class coming up that I'm facilitating in Davidson. We're starting on, in just a couple weeks, on Wednesday, April 13th. Good morning, Tanya. And there's a bars class before that on the 12th. Anyway, good morning, Robert. Thank you so much for joining me live, you guys. So what kind of has been showing up for me before this class is really like sitting with and kind of acknowledging or reminiscing what it was like for me when I took my first foundation class, and like all of the things that have changed and shown up in my life since then over the past 8 years. I can't actually believe it has been 8 years. Holy moly. So foundation was like it was a big choice for me to make. And I know that it's a big choice for a lot of people to make. I mean, your choice to take a foundation class is kind of a facilitation in and of itself. The first thing was the price point. This class is 1,650 Canadian dollars. Now, I think back in the day when I took it, I took a bars and a foundation for like 1,300. So there has been some price increases over the years, adjusted with the economy, etc. But yeah, $1,650 to take a foundation today. And I know for myself, when I first went into that class, it was really tough for me to spend that money. Good morning, Dad. Jackie Albert, good morning. Because I wasn't getting anything tangible, for one thing. You know, like when I wasn't getting a horse. That would have been one thing that I would spend that amount of money on, that I would get in exchange, was like a horse. Well, when you take a foundation class, you don't really get anything substantial. You get a manual. You are in a place for 4 days. Like, really? I'm really going to pay that much money for that? But there was something energetically like pulling me to that class. It kept catching my attention. Good morning, Lil. Anyway, so the choice to actually spend that amount of money, to first of all create that amount of money and then spend it on something I didn't fully understand or wasn't really getting anything in exchange for, was a really kind of a big thing. Plus, I was spending it all on myself. That was like even more uncomfortable. I mean, back then it would probably be more comfortable for me to like give that money away and spend it on somebody else. But me choosing something for me was huge. So those are some things that can come up for you if you're considering, if you're a foundation virgin, if you haven't taken foundation yet, that. Now, looking back over the last 8 years, what that one single choice to take that first foundation class really finally got me, what I can sense now is like out of right and wrong, the judgment of what's right and what's wrong, and into actually choosing. Your choices create your life and your future, but we often don't choose anything because we're so paralyzed with making sure that we make the right choice and that we're not going to make the wrong choice, so that keeps us stuck. So we don't actually choose anything. Wow, I didn't actually realize like that until lately. My ability to choose has exponentialized, which has therefore exponentialize the creation of my life showing up because I'm actually choosing, meaning I'm actually creating. I'm not just sitting back and letting things show up as they do. I'm actually choosing them and creating them. And it is the polarity of the right choice and the wrong choice that keeps us from choosing. And again, we often, like, I used to think that I could just make one choice. I'm only allowed to make one choice, so I better make sure it's the right choice because it's the only one I'm allowed to make. I don't even know where that came from. That's not actually true. What is actually true is you have a choice in every 10 seconds. And there was a really cool thing that showed up this past week for us was like, so we have cows again. For those of you that might not know me, if you're just watching me for the first time, I grain farm with my husband and my brother-in-law and his family. And then my husband and I, we just got cattle again November 2020. Yeah. So they're just fairly new to us. We did have cattle before, like years ago. It feels like another lifetime. But we had sold them all. We went 10 years with no cows. And then my husband really, he really does love them. And he's always wanted them again. So we just made that choice. He just made that choice and we've got cows again. Anyway, we purchased this nice little herd. There's 40 head of cattle. And they're just they're nice cows. You know, they're fairly quiet. They come to you. They're respectful. There's not too many crazy ones. Anyway, this past fall, Travis was looking at purchasing some replacement heifers from another rancher, and he did. He took 12. We got 12 of them. And the deal is, so we didn't really have the cash to pay for all of them up front. We didn't really want to finance. So they worked out a deal with us where over a certain number of years, we just pay them a certain amount from the calves that we sell off of those heifers every year. And then we will eventually own them. But we did purchase 2 of them anyway. But there was a deal. There was also part of the deal was that we could bring them back. Like any that were not working for us, we could actually take them back and then trade them in on a different heifer the next year. Now, normally Travis wouldn't, he would it would be uncomfortable for him to kind of say these animals aren't working for me, unless he was almost dead or something, you know. But he's actually exercising his power of choice these days. And we've calved most of these heifers now. There's only one left to calve, and he's not really happy with them. Their temperaments mostly, you know, they're a little more spicy is what we call them. They're more spicy. Some of them aren't really strong mothers, but they're also heifers, meaning it's the first time they're calving. And they weren't always easy to deal with. But there was 2 or 3 out of the whole thing that we just fell in love with. And these girls, they were really nervous in the beginning, but they really settled down over the next day and then kind of really nicely settled down the day after that. Whereas the other ones, they weren't settling. And so there's 3 that we really want to keep. And he's like, well, I think I'm just going to bring the other ones back. He's like, I'm going to calve them out and we'll pasture them. And then when it's time to sell the calves, I just don't think I want anymore. And for him to just kind of choose that, that was amazing. You know, it wasn't that he made this one choice to get these heifers and he's stuck with them for the rest of his life. No, there is a choice there. He can make another choice, which is what we're doing. We have our hit list and we have our keep list. Anyway, and the other thing too is that, and then he could have went into judgment that he made the wrong choice in getting these heifers, but he didn't. Because again, what if there is no wrong choice? What if every single choice creates awareness? And what awareness we really got from adding these heifers to our herd was we are so grateful for the cows that we do have. It really, exponentialize the gratitude for what we actually have, which you sometimes don't fully receive or acknowledge how amazing something is that you already have until you experience something, make a choice and experience something that's maybe not that, and then it grows the gratitude for what you have. And so I said to him, like, those heifers were such a gift because it really showed us like how amazing the cows we got, the cows that we do have really are. We wouldn't have that reference and that acknowledgement if we didn't get the heifers. And he's like, yeah, you're right. And like gratitude creates. So when you're not stuck in, oh my God, I made this wrong choice and now I'm stuck with it forever. And what was I thinking? And la la la, like all of that just keeps you stuck. When you're not stuck in the polarity of right and wrong, you can receive gratitude and the awareness of like what is, and the next choice you can make. That is the gift of what a foundation class invites you to start to have and be in your life. And like money, I know money is a thing. Again, we talked about in the beginning of this video, like it is an expensive class. You are spending a lot, more money maybe than you have been comfortable spending before on yourself. And you're not getting anything. You're not getting a horse. You're getting a manual. But this class, what really comes to mind with this class is like, there's a fishing meme where you can give a man a fish or 2 fish and you can feed him for a day or 2 days. Or you can teach him to fish. You can give him the tools to fish. And you can feed him for a lifetime. And he can then feed himself for a lifetime. And then he can also pass that information on. The foundation class is like learning how to fish. You get these tools that you can take into your life for the rest of your life. And they're not tangible. They are energetic. So a lot of people just discount it. And that's okay. It's just not for them. But yeah, come and learn how to fish. And there was, one other thing. Anyway, the train left the station. So I am so grateful for you guys. Thank you so much for showing up and joining me live this morning. We're also, the foundation class in Davidson is also going to be online as well as live. So, if you're keen, if this class is catching your attention, but you can't travel to Davidson, you can join us online. Shoot me a message and let me know if you have any questions. I am so excited. Okay, mwah. Have an amazing rest of your day, wherever you are, whatever you're up to. Have way too much fun. Bye-bye for now.